Hi, love bugs. This is Sharika. I'm coming to you guys with a cooking with me video. I'm not using original ingredients. This was kind of a last minute thing that the girls and I decided to do. So, the first thing I want to show you is the actual cake mix. We actually went with Betty Crocker Super Moist Cake Mix, the white color. And then the next ingredient that I'm actually going to show you is the icing, which is by Duncan Hines. It's the creamy homestyle frosting and classic vanilla. No high fructose corn syrup is in the icing. The next ingredient that I'm going to show you that we are going to use is our food coloring, which is we're only going to use the red and blue. We're not using the green and yellow. The next thing is some of the ingredients for the cake mix, which is 3 eggs. We're not doing egg whites. We're actually going full out with eggs, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to show you guys the next ingredient, which is also for the cake mix. They wanted you to use vegetable oil, but I used what I had, which is canola oil. I could have went with olive oil. However, canola oil was all that I had in my pantry. I know, guys, super unhealthy. However, like I said, this was a last minute video, so please stay tuned. So at this point, I've already poured in my white cake mix, and I have my cake mixer, which is by Sunbeam. I actually received this as a Mother's Day gift um, from my kids and my husband. So I always use this when I'm, baking a cake, cupcakes, making cookies or anything that requires me to mix. And it's something that, I don't want to constantly stir. So I'm going to go ahead and put in all my wet ingredients before I start my mixer. So right now you see me pouring in the water that's required. I will put the ingredients down below, but it's actually on the back of the Betty Crocker box exactly what you need for your ingredients, but I will still leave it down below for any of our first time cookers. I poured in the canola oil that you guys saw me show you previously in the video. I'm cracking my 3 eggs now to pour in there. I know a lot of my veterans at cooking are probably like, why is she not mixing everything first? Everybody does everything different, to each his own. I notice with box cakes, it really doesn't matter how you put in the ingredients, whether you're is going or not, it's still going to it's still going to taste the same. So at this point, I turned on my mixer and we're going to go ahead and mix this for 2 minutes. Okay, love bug. So after the 2 minute mark, this is exactly what we're working with. The food coloring colors I used blue and I used red. So right now, this is exactly how the blue one looks, and I mixed it all up and really good. That's how it looked. And then I went ahead and started mixing the red food coloring into the white cake mix. So I continued to mix until this one turned red. However, I noticed I needed to use more food coloring, so I ended up adding more drops to it so I could try to get a deep, darker, richer red color. And I'm not gonna lie, adding in those additional 5 to 10 drops made a huge difference. And this is exactly what it ended up looking like at the end. So after adding the food coloring to the cake mix, I'm showing you guys that I already have my non-stick 12 cup muffin pan already with my cupcake holders in there. So I started to with the red cake mix first, and then I went ahead and I grabbed my white cake mix, which, as I mentioned, the cake mix was already white. So I just grabbed that and I started pouring that into the cupcake holder. And then I went ahead and grabbed my blue cake mixture and I started adding that to the cupcake holder as well. So once I filled it to my liking, I was able to show the girls basically this is how you guys want to fill them up. And even though this one was overfilled, it still turned out delicious, overflowing and everything. So let's go ahead and move on to the next clip. So after about 10 to 19 minutes in the oven, this is exactly how the cupcakes turned out. Now, a lot of the cupcakes, we were thinking they'd look like the earth, but I did end up pulling out one of the cupcakes that we actually filled up just the right amount of cupcake mix or cake mix to make it look exactly perfect and not overflowing. So this was the chosen one for our video. Let's move on. So after waiting about 2 minutes, I started to ice the cupcakes. The way how the icing became red and blue is the same way I use food coloring. After I used the food coloring in my two bowls that I wanted the red and the blue icing for, I went ahead and I put the icing into sandwich bags to make it a little bit easier to put the icing on. So this is our chosen cupcake. So this is the one I'm going to take the bite out of first. I took a bite out of it, and this is exactly how it turned out. As you see, the inside is red, white, and blue for this particular cupcake. Every cupcake did not look the same because, as I mentioned, I had little hands helping me. They did a phenomenal job. And I'm going to show you in the next clip exactly how all 12 cupcakes looked after we put the icing on them. So after putting the icing on, as you guys see, my hands got really messy because the blue icing bag burst in my hand. So it was a mess. But this is exactly how the cupcakes turned out. I really enjoyed myself. I have not ever made cupcakes in my life until this day. Children will bring out the best in you. This is how we spent our 4th of July, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, please make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And as you always know, love bugs, I love you. Mwah.